Accessibility is very, very important when designing websites, and having fluid fonts is key to designing websites that are accessible. In most cases, when designers design using Divi or any other page builder, normally they add their font sizes as 2 rem, 3 rem, or 12 pixels, 15 pixels, change the sizes in the different screen sizes over here. That is not the right way to do it. So in this video, I'm going to show you the right way to set your sizes, which are going to be fluid at the end of the day. All right, so the first thing we want to do is to, again, let's go ahead and create, let's say this time 2 columns, and we need to set our headings. So I'm going to search for my heading here like that, and we're going to duplicate this a few times. Okay, and then the last one is going to be a text module. So we want to set up our fonts once and for all. So we're going to start off here, and this is going to be heading 1. So you want to make sure that you label them. So we're going to come over here to heading text, and this one is set to heading 1. And then this one here needs to be heading 2. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This one here is going to be heading 3. So you want to go ahead and continue until you've set all these headings. The next one is heading 4. And then this one is heading 5. And then I think we need one more, which is going to be heading 6. So I'm going to come over here and set this to heading 6. Okay, great. So now that we have all these headings, as you can see, we don't have the proper sizes. So what we need to do is to go to type scale. Now, there's so many options you can choose online to go and set your fonts. So in my case, I really like this website. It's called typescale.net. So what you want to do is to start with your base font. So your base font needs to be 16 pixels. Over here on the units, I'm going to set them as rem. Okay. Again, it's very important you set it as rem because you don't want to use pixels. Now over here, we have our scale ratio. So the best one is major third. Okay. Of course, you can go perfect fourth, but you're going to see that the text is going to be way too big. So the sweet spot is major third. Okay. Next, we have our preview mode here, which is fine. And our font family, we have Inter. But of course, you can change that if you want. Now, the most important setting here is going to be over here, or one of the most important. You want to make sure fluid typography is set to yes. And now you can see we're going to have our clamp values. And this is exactly what we need. Now with that, there's also another setting, and it's over here, our maximum viewport. I normally use 1366 pixels. All right, so now that I have all this information, the next thing I do now is to head over here to export. And then we want to go to CSS custom properties. And this is where we're going to get everything that we need. So when I scroll down here, you can see our H1 size is right here. So we're going to copy all that like that, come back on our website, and then we are going to open up. In fact, let's just save this just in case. We're going to now come over here to our variable manager. Okay. And then we're going to go to numbers, because this is where we're going to add pretty much everything. Okay. So the first one here is going to be, oops, let me just save this. We need to do a hard refresh, making sure that there's no information here that is going to mess up our design. Okay, so let's go back over here to our variable manager. We're going to go to numbers, add global numbers. So here we're going to add heading 1. So we're just going to call this H1. On the value, I'm going to paste my value here that I got from the website. And you can see here is a clamp value. So I'm going to continue on. This one is going to be H2. Okay, I need to enter the value first before I can move on. So back over here on my document, I'm going to scroll down, and here is heading 2. I'm going to copy that like that. So you want to make sure you do this to all the headings. I'm going to hit enter. And now I can go and add H3. So you want to continue doing this until you get all your sizes. And this is very, very important that these have to be clamp values. Otherwise, you are going to mess up your design adding all these values manually. And if you enter them manually, it won't really work because you're going to forget the sizes next time you come back to the design. So here we got H3. Let's head over to H4. We're going to copy that, Now, this is something that you don't normally get when you watch these YouTube tutorials. They don't tell you why you should do what you need to do. Pretty much, they will just say, oh, okay, we need to use this value. But for you to understand why, they don't really go into detail. So this is going to be perhaps a good way for you to see why we're doing what we're doing. So we have H5, and then we have one more here, which is heading 6. And then over here, we're going to add the value. And for our H6, it's right here. I know this may seem like very, very small. Yes, it's our headings, but we just need to make sure that we add all our values here. All right. Now, can you guess what I need to enter next? Well, it's going to be our body text. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to call this body. And then we also need to add our value. So back to our type scale here. So we have several body sizes. So I'm just going to go with the normal one here, the body size. So you can see there's XL, there's small, then they've got the captions and so on. But we're not going to mess around with that. We just need our body size, which is this one right here. So I'm going to copy that and paste it. Now, if you want to add some extras, you can go ahead and do that. No problem. I'm going to go ahead now and save all these, apply changes, and then close out of here. I'm going to save here one more time and let's refresh. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed that, but there's a slight change to our design here. Now, here's how we need to apply these to as we're designing our website. So you're going to come over here and then you go into design, because remember, we have a variable now. So you need to come over here now, heading text, and then for the size now, for the size, you need to go to heading text size. You click on this little icon and we need to go to H1. Boom. Do you see that? Really, really cool. So now we have H1. It has our clamp value, and that means that when we view this on different screen sizes, it is going to reduce in size. In fact, why don't I show you? Okay. Let me not talk about it. Let me just show you. I'm going to do a quick preview here. And I want you to take a look at this one right here on the top. I'm going to right click, inspect, and then I'm going to grab one of these corners here. Now watch the size. Look at the top one. Look at the top one. You see that? It's getting smaller. It's getting smaller. It's getting smaller. As compared to the other ones, it's very consistent. You see that? It's gotten smaller. That means if we had our variables on the other ones as well, the other ones will be changing as well. So it gets bigger and bigger with the screen size. Okay, fantastic. See you in the next video.